Hello and welcome to your intramural volleyball captains meeting. By watching this video and taking the quiz, your team will be eligible to play as soon as you get the minimum number of players. Please pay attention to this important information. If you have some questions and you need more information about volleyball, you can use our general number, which is 562-1606, or the CREC at nwmissouri.edu account. Hannah Harmon is a graduate assistant in charge of volleyball, and she will be your main contact person, and you can contact her at that email address above. All players must have intramural leagues accounts. Here's the web address that they need to go to. They must do this on their own, and they will not be able to be put on your team until they do. So make sure your players do that before you try to submit a team. Captains must take and pass an information quiz if you do not attend the in-person meeting. Please note that a person may only play on one team per sport. This means you can only be on one intramural team and play. If you're in the fraternity division, you only play on one team in the fraternity division, and if you cannot play in the men's division, you can only play on one team for your organization. If you do play on more than one, you will be eliminated from playing anymore, and it could cost your team in the playoffs. Also, any varsity volleyball players that were played in the last 365 days on a varsity team or on their roster are not eligible to play volleyball at this time. As captains, it's your responsible to make sure all these people meet these requirements. A little bit more information on eligibility is provided here. Of course, no professionals may play in any intramural sports that played in volleyball. Please do not use any assumed names. They should use their real names, and any player that's guilty of any of these acts could be barred from intramural competition for the rest of the semester. Please note that you do have to have at least 4 people to begin your volleyball game, and that is at game time. If not, that will be declared a forfeit. We do not want this to happen, and so please get your players there early if you can. Thank you. Protests. There shall be no protests allowed on officials' judgment calls. If there's a misinterpretation of the rule at that time, this protest needs to take place before the next serve, or it is too late in volleyball. And if there's eligibility issues, you must protest the game, and a written protest must be submitted within 24 hours for it to be valid. Any team with an ineligible person loses all rights to protest the game on any basis. Please take care of this in a timely manner. Thank you. Default. If you don't think you're going to have enough players to play, please contact us before 2 p.m. on the day that you're going to play, or before is better, and we will default you but leave you in the league. This way we can contact the other team and scores and make other plans. This is just a common courtesy. Thank you. Postponements will be made only through the campus recreation office. We will not reschedule games except for extreme circumstances, and if you do need to reschedule, the information is below there. You'll have to contact the opposing captain and then see if they will change the time that you need. You of course need to make sure that there is a time available with the campus rec office, and then if it involves other teams, you'll also have to get a hold of them and make sure they all can concur before this is done. Very important. It's your responsibility to make sure all members know the rules. They are posted, as you'll see here in a little bit, and we'll go over a few of them. Please no arguing with the official or supervisor, and just because they think they know the rules, that's no excuse to yell at someone. If you'd like to have a copy of the rules, you may go to find those on imleagues.com, click on the info button on the left side and look for sports rules, and then you'll find the volleyball rules at the bottom, and then you may download those and give those to your team, or at least read over and make sure that they know what the specific rules are. A very important point is that make sure that you have your team created and that you take your quiz no later than Tuesday, March 18th at 11:55 p.m. If you do not attend the captain's meeting or take this online quiz, if you do not attend the captain's meeting in person, your team will not be scheduled the first week of competition. So allow all your players to do this and to get signed up. Please give them plenty of time. Some rules, general rules. We won't hit all of them here, but here's a few. If anybody on the team acts in an unsportsmanlike manner, instead of just throwing that player out, We'll award a point to the other team. So please keep your players under control. If we need to, we'll remove that player. We play with 6 players, and you must have 4 to start. Match time is forfeit time. So if you have some people that take a little longer to get there than most, please tell them a little bit earlier time so that you're able to start. Substitutes are unlimited, and you can do the maximum of 3 at one time, and all players must come in on the back row. They can't sub out and in and out on the front row. Lines are counted as in. Serve that hits the net, sometimes called a let serve, and goes over and lands in the proper area is good. It's no side out unless it goes out of bounds. And there's no blocking or attacking of the serve. A block does not count as a hit, and a player may have successive contacts after that first block. Front row players may contact the ball from any position inside or outside the court, above, below the net. A back row player shall not participate in a block or spike in front of the 10-foot line. Players are not permitted to contact a ball which is completely on the opponent's side of the net unless the contact is a legal block. And very importantly, for everybody's safety, no hats, necklaces, jewelry shall be worn. You cannot put tape on to cover up the jewelry. Your options are to either take the jewelry off and play, or leave the jewelry on and watch. In conclusion, some important things. Please make sure players show up with their Bearcat cards. They might not be allowed to play if they don't, to check in. All players must have an account at imleagues.com. If they don't, they'll not be on your roster and won't be allowed to play. Game time is forfeit time, so please make sure you have at least 4 people there to be ready to play. And if you can't make it, please call in a default ahead of time. Don't forget to take your quiz after watching this video. Thank you very much.